Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare Namo
Yadavaya Namah,
Oh Vṛndāvana,
Sri Madhusudana,
Akagari Vachalam,
Pangolanga Yategirim,
Yati Bhagavad
Sri Gurun Dinatarinam,
Ananda Madhavam,
Sri Caitanya Ishwaram.
Hare Om Tat Sat.
Haribo. Welcome, dear devotees. Today we are continuing from the compilation of the Sri Krishna Chaitanya book. And today's we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya-lila, chapter 15, text 75.
সুললিত দীর্ঘার্গল কৃষ্ণর ভুজ যুগল ভুজ নহে কৃষ্ণ সর্বকায় দুই শৈল ছিদ্রে পাইসে নারীর হৃদয়ে দংশে মোরে নারী সে বিষ জ্বালায়।
The two very beautiful arms of Krishna are just like long bolts. They also resemble the bodies of black snakes that enter the space between the two heel-like breasts of women and bite their hearts. The woman then die from the burning poison. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In other words, the gopis become very much agitated by lusty desire. They are burning due to the poisonous bite inflicted by the black snakes of Krishna's beautiful arms.
So, here the gopis want to serve Krishna,
Here the gopis want to serve Krishna.
and Krishna is very pleased if the gopis love him.
And Krishna is very pleased if the gopis love him.
As we mentioned, there are 5 kinds of relationships.
As we mentioned, there are 5 kinds of relationships.
And this is seen from the relationship of Madhurya Rasa.
So this is seeing from the relationship of Madhurya Rasa.
And the gopis, young girls, attracted by Krishna, and Krishna is reciprocating with their love.
And the gopis, the young girls, are attracted by Krishna, and Krishna is reciprocating with their love.
These are souls that have done many devotional services.
But these are souls that have done many devotional services.
They have this opportunity to associate with this Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Therefore, they have the opportunity to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
They have this desire.
And they have this desire.
Think that this is like the mundane activity.
But we should not think that this is like the mundane activity.
Mundane activity is kind of perverted reflection.
The mundane activity is a kind of perverted reflection.
But the activity in Krishna and the gopis is transcendental.
But the activity with Krishna and the gopis is transcendental. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya-lila, chapter 15, text 76.
কৃষ্ণ কর পদতল কোটি চন্দ্র সুশীতল যিনি কর্পূর বেনু বেনামূল চন্দন একবার জড় স্পর্শে স্মরজ্বালা বিষনাশে যার স্পর্শে লুব্ধ নারী মন।
The combined cooling effect of camphor, roots of kasha and sandalwood is surpassed by the coolness of Krishna's palms and the soles of his feet, which are cooler and more pleasing than millions upon millions of moons. If women are touched by them even once, their minds are enticed, and the burning poison of lusty desire for Krishna is immediately vanquished.
So here it's glorifying how Krishna's palms and his lotus feet are very cooling,
So here it is glorifying how Krishna's palms and his lotus feet are very cooling.
and someone, a woman has a lusty desire, is touched by Krishna, and suddenly that desire is vanquished.
And somewhat, if the woman, the gopis have that lusty desire, if it's touched by Krishna, then that lusty desire is vanquished. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya-lila, chapter 15, text 77.
কৃষ্ণ বিরোহী প্রভুর শ্লোক পাঠ। এতেক বিলাপ করি প্রেমাবেশে শ্রী গৌর হরি, এই অর্থ পড়ে এক শ্লোক। সেই শ্লোক পড়ি রাধা বিশাখারে কহে রাধা, উঘাড়িয়া হৃদয়ের শোক।
Lamenting in ecstatic love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then recited the following verse, which was spoken by Srimati Radharani while exposing the lamentation of her heart to her friend Srimati Vishaka.
These verses are spoken by Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, the great master.
These verses were spoken by Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, the great master.
Where he's taking the role of Radharani and feeling great separation and excited love for Lord Krishna.
Where he's taking the role of Radharani and feeling great separation and love of Lord Krishna.
Remember that Krishna took the heart of Radharani, took her mood, took her color, and he wanted to experience what was the love that Radharani had for him.
So remember that Krishna took the mood, the heart, the color of Radharani and wanted to experience what Radharani's love had for him.
Now that's Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Now that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya-lila, chapter 15, text 78.
শ্রী রাধার কৃষ্ণ দর্শন তৃষ্ণা গোবিন্দ লীলামৃতে ৮ নম্বর অধ্যায়ের ৭ নম্বর শ্লোক।
Translation to the verse. My dear friend, Krishna's chest is as broad and attractive as a door made of Indranila gems, and his two arms, as strong as bolts, can relieve the mental anguish of young girls distressed by lusty desire for him. His body is cooler than the moon, sandalwood, the lotus flower, and camphor. In this way, Madan Mohan, the attractor of Cupid, is increasing the desire of my breast. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This verse is also found in the Govinda Lilamrita 8.7.
So Radharani is experiencing great separation, thinking constantly of Krishna,
Radharani is experiencing great separation, thinking constantly of Krishna.
and so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is experiencing this form of ecstatic love.
And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was experiencing this form of ecstatic love. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Anjalila, chapter 15, text 79.
কৃষ্ণ দর্শন বঞ্চিত প্রভুর বিলাপ প্রভু কহে কৃষ্ণময়ী এখনই পাইনু আপনার দুর্দেবের পুনঃ হারাইনু
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, I just now had Krishna, but unfortunately I have lost him again.
So Lord Chaitanya, in this mood of having Krishna and lost him,
So Lord Chaitanya, in this mood of having Krishna and then lost him,
is speaking so many things in separation of Lord Krishna.
is speaking so many things in separation of Lord Krishna.
So this is, you see, the secret, the three reasons why Lord Chaitanya came.
You see the secret. There are three reasons why Lord Chaitanya came.
One thing was establish a chanting of Hare Krishna, the holy name of God.
One thing is to establish the chanting of Hare Krishna, the holy name of God,
The Sankirtan movement,
the Sankirtan movement,
and that he did that in the beginning of pastimes.
and he did that in the beginning of his pastimes.
And then to experience the separation and love of his devotees for him.
And to experience the separation of love of his devotees have for him.
The third reason, it is very confidential,
There's a third reason which is very confidential.
that you know that, right?
I mean, you know that, right?
It's very confidential. I shouldn't speak it.
I mean, it's very confidential. I shouldn't speak it.
You all know, right?
You all know, right? Some nods.
You see, his Radharani seems to experience greater happiness than he does.
How Radharani seems to experience greater happiness than he does.
How can anyone experience anything more than the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
How can anyone experience anything more than the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
But he extended himself into two, Radha and himself.
But he expanded himself into two, Radha and himself.
Radha is the pleasure potency.
And Radha is the pleasure potency.
So somehow she has more happiness than he does.
So somehow she has more happiness than he does.
She does. So to realize that, he has to take the position of Radharani.
So to realize that, he has to take the position of Radharani.
And therefore, he appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
And therefore he appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
And he was experiencing the madness of pure love.
I mean, and he was experiencing the madness of pure love in the highest level. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Anjalila, chapter 15, text 80.
চঞ্চল স্বভাব কৃষ্ণের না রয়ে এক স্থানে দেখা দিয়া মনোহরি করে অন্তর্ধানে
By nature, Krishna is very restless. He does not stay in one place. He meets with someone, enchants his mind, and then disappears.
So now, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in his Lord Krishna, he's suddenly criticizing Krishna.
So now Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his love of Krishna, he is suddenly criticizing Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Anchalila, chapter 15, text 81.
গোপী প্রেম বর্ধনাথ কৃষ্ণের রাস হইতে অন্তর্ধান শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতে দশম স্কন্ধে 29 নম্বর অধ্যায়ের 48 নম্বর শ্লোক।
Translation to the verse. The gopis became proud of their great fortune to subdue their sense of superiority and show them special favor. Keshava, the subduer of even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, disappeared from the rasa dance. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This verse quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.29.48 was spoken by Sukadev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit.
So Krishna, as the Supreme Person of Godhead, he's present in everyone's heart.
So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is present in everyone's heart.
You understand that the gopis and dancing with the Supreme Person,
So we can understand the gopis are dancing with the Supreme Person.
they felt very proud.
They felt very proud.
To subdue that feeling of superiority,
To subdue that, the feeling of superiority,
Krishna disappeared.
Krishna disappeared
Left them alone.
and left them alone. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Anchalila, chapter 15, text 82.
স্বরূপকে গান গাইতে আজ্ঞা স্বরূপ গোসাই রে কহেন গাও এক গীত যাতে আমার হৃদয়ের হয়ে তো শীত।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said to Swarup Damodar Goswami, please sing a song that will bring consciousness to my heart.
So Damodar Gosai would sing songs that gave Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu some relief.
So Swarup Damodar Gosai would sing songs that gave Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu some relief.
But he would sing a song which was based on Krishna.
But he would sing a song which was based on Krishna.
Sometimes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would tell Ramananda Roy to quote a verse.
Sometimes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would tell Ramananda Roy to quote a verse.
And he would recite some verse from a scripture.
And he would recite some verse from a scripture.
This would help Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who was overwhelmed with the celebration and ecstatic love of Krishna.
Which would help Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was overwhelmed in ecstatic love for Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya-lila, chapter 15, text 83.
স্বরূপ গোসাই তবে মধুর করিয়া গীত গোবিন্দের পদ গায় প্রভুরে শুনাইয়া।
Thus, for the pleasure of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar Goswami began very sweetly singing the following verse from the Geet Govinda. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya-lila, chapter 15, text 84.
গোপীর রাসরসিক কৃষ্ণকে স্মরণ গীত গোবিন্দে 2 নম্বর অধ্যায় 3 নম্বর শ্লোক।
Translation to the verse. Here in the arena of the rasa dance, I remember Krishna, who is always fond of joking and performing pastimes. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This verse, Geet Govinda 2.3, is sung by Srimati Radharani.
So, Bhagavan means all powerful, all beautiful, all knowledgeable,
So Bhagavan means all powerful, all beautiful, all knowledgeable,
all uh, all wealthy,
all wealthy,
all famous,
all famous,
and all announced.
and all renounced.
But some people, I mean some devotees, they're attracted by other qualities of Krishna.
But some people, some devotees, they are attracted by other qualities of Krishna.
His sense of humor,
His sense of humor,
his fantastic pastimes,
his fantastic pastimes,
the, his personality.
his personality.
I mean, many people don't realize that the Supreme Personality Godhead has a wonderful personality.
Normally, people don't realize that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has a wonderful personality.
I think, oh, that has something personal idea.
They think that is all some impersonal idea.
So, actually, the oldies, they surrendered to Krishna
Actually, the gopis, they surrender to Krishna
because of his wonderful qualities.
because of all his wonderful qualities. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Anjalila, chapter 15, text 85.
গান শ্রবণে প্রভুর প্রেমাবেশে নৃত্য স্বরূপ গোসাই যবে এই পদ্য গাহিলা উঠি প্রেমাবেশে তবে নাচিতে লাগিলা।
When Swarup Damodar Goswami sang this special song, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately got up and began to dance in ecstatic love.
So, we cannot imagine Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing.
So we cannot imagine Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing.
Dancing in Lord Krishna, it's something completely transcendental.
Dancing in love of Krishna is something completely transcendental. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Anjalila, chapter 15, text 86.
প্রভুর শ্রীঅঙ্গে অষ্টসাত্ত্বিক বিকার ও সর্বভাবের যুগাপথ উদয় অষ্টসাত্ত্বিক ভাব অঙ্গে প্রকট হইল হর্ষাধি ব্যভিচারী সব উথলিল।
At that time, all 8 kinds of spiritual transformations became manifest in Lord Chaitanya's body. The 33 symptoms of Vyabhichari Bhav, beginning with lamentation and jubilation, became prominent as well.
I wonder how that, how can someone be experiencing lamentation and jubilation?
How can someone be experiencing lamentation and jubilation at the same time?
The 8 Ashtasakti Gabal, 8 manifestations of ecstatic love.
There are 8 Ashtasattika Bhav, 8 manifestations of pure love.
Profuse crying, laughing, yawning,
Profuse crying, laughing, yawning,
perspiring,
perspiring,
quivering,
quivering,
lying on the body, falling on the ground unconscious,
falling on the ground unconscious,
and like that.
and like that.
So, Lord Chaitanya would manifest one after another all these different bhavas, emotions.
But Lord Chaitanya would experience all these bhavas, emotions, one after another.
And more subtle brahmachari bhavas, subtle emotional states like
And more
jubilation.
and more subtle vyabhichari bhav, more subtle emotions like lamentation, jubilation.
So all these started to manifest as he was remembering Krishna and the mood of Radharani.
And all these started to manifest as he was remembering Krishna in the mood of Radharani. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ancha Lila, chapter 15, text 87.
ভাবোদয়ে ভাব সিন্ধু ভাব সাবল্য ভাবে ভাবে মহাযুদ্ধে সবারও প্রাবল্য।
All the ecstatic symptoms, such as bhava daya, bhava sandhi, and bhava sabalya, awakened in the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A great fight arose between one emotion and another, and each of them became prominent.
Bhavadaya, something of the rising of the particular emotion.
Bhavadaya is something like the arising of which emotion?
Particular
A particular emotion.
Bhava Sandhi is like transisting from one emotion to another.
And bhava sandhi is like transisting from one emotion to another.
Daya is
And bhava
Sabhalya. That's one overcomes another.
Yeah. So bhava sabhalya is one overcoming another.
Like this, different ecstatic symptoms, different emotions
Like this, different ecstatic symptoms, different emotions
arose one after another in the body of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
arose one after another in the body of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Anjalila, chapter 15, text 88.
সেই পদের গান আস্বাদন ও নর্তন সেই পদ পুন পুন করায় গায়ন পুন পুন আস্বাদয়ে করে নর্তন।
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had Swarup Damodar sing the same verse again and again. Each time he sang it, the Lord tasted it anew, and thus he danced again and again.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna has unlimited features.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna has unlimited features.
His names is Navayovana,
One of his names is Navayovana,
eternally new,
eternally new
youthful.
and youthful.
So, although the same verse is sung again and again, each time it was sung, some different aspect of Krishna was realized.
So, although the same verse was chanted again and again, different aspects of Krishna was realized.
And thus, Lord Chaitanya was dancing
And thus, Lord Chaitanya was dancing
in different modes.
in different moods. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Anjalila, chapter 15, text 89.
এই মত নৃত্য যদি হইল বহুক্ষণ স্বরূপ কষাই পদ কইলা সমাপন।
After the Lord had been dancing for a long time, Swarup Damodar Goswami stopped singing the verse. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Anjalila, chapter 15, text 90.
প্রভুর অবস্থা দর্শনে স্বরূপের গানে বিরতি বলো বলো বলি প্রভু কহেন বারবার না গায়ে স্বরূপ গোসাই শ্রম দেখি তার।
Over and over again, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Go on, sing, sing." But Swarup Damodar, seeing the Lord's fatigue, did not resume singing.
So Damodar Goswami was the senior most secretary assistant of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu.
So Swarup Damodar Goswami was the senior most secretary of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
He was seeing how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing for a long time,
So he was seeing how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing for a long time,
and he was becoming very tired.
and he'd becoming very tired.
Although he wanted to go on, but his secretary wouldn't cooperate.
Although he wanted to go on, his secretary wouldn't cooperate. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Someone's looking down. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila, chapter 15, text 91.
Dance for a long time.
But Swarup Damodar let him dance for a long time.
সকলের হরিধ্বনি। বলো বলো প্রভু বলেন ভক্তগণ শুনি চৌদিকেতে সবে মিলে করে হরিধ্বনি।
When the devotees heard Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, "Go on singing," they all gathered around him and began to chant the holy name of Hari in unison.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila, chapter 15, text 92.
রায় কর্তৃক প্রভুর শান্তি অপনদন। রামানন্দ রায় তবে প্রভুরে বসাইলা বিজনাদি করি প্রভুর শ্রম ঘুচাইলা।
At that time, Ramananda Roy made the Lord sit down and dissipated his fatigue by fanning him.
Ramananda Rai, secretary.
And Ramananda Roy is the second secretary.
He made Lord Chaitanya sit down and cool him off,
And he made Lord Chaitanya sit down and cooled him off by fanning him.
And this way, all the secretaries were trying to facilitate Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy.
So in this way, the secretaries were trying to facilitate Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy
And keep him healthy.
and keep him healthy. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila, chapter 15, text 93.
প্রভুর স্নান ও ভোজনান্তে শয়ন প্রভুরে লইয়া গেলা তবে সমুদ্রের তীরে স্নান করিয়া পুনঃ তারে লইয়া আইলা ঘরে।
Then all the devotees took Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the beach and bathed him. Finally, they brought him back home.
Lord Chaitanya was overwhelmed and love of Godhead.
So Lord Chaitanya was overwhelmed with love of Godhead.
But devotees in Jagannath-puri, it's on the Bay of Bengal.
But the devotees in Jagannath Puri, it's on the Bay of Bengal.
They took Lord Chaitanya to the beach gave him a bath, took him home.
They took Lord Caitanya to the beach, gave him a bath, and took him home. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Anjalila, chapter 15, text 94.
ভোজন করাইয়া প্রভুরে করাইলা শয়ন, রামানন্দ আদি সবে গেলা নিজ স্থান।
After they fed him lunch, they made him lie down. Then all the devotees, headed by Ramananda Roy, returned to their respective homes.
So Damodar Goswami, he stayed with Lord Caitanya.
Sarup Damodar Goswami, he stayed with Lord Caitanya.
Sometimes Ramananda Roy would stay at night, but this is daytime.
But sometimes Ramananda Roy would stay at night, but this is daytime.
And so after Lord Caitanya took his lunch, he lay down, and all the others went to their respective homes.
After Lord Caitanya took his lunch, he lay down, and all the others went to their respective homes. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Anjalila, chapter 15, text 95.
গোপী কিঙ্করী অভিমানে প্রভুর বৃন্দাবন লীলদীপ দীপন রূপ দিব্যোন্মাদ, উদরঘনা ও চিত্রজল্প। এই তো কহিল প্রভুর উদ্যান বিহার, বৃন্দাবন ক্রমে যাহা প্রবেশ তাহার।
Thus I have described Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes in the garden, which he entered, mistaking it for Vṛndāvana. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Anjalila, chapter 15, text 96.
প্রলাপ সহিত এই উন্মাদ বর্ণন, শ্রীরূপ গোসাই ইহা করিয়াছেন লিখন।
There he exhibited transcendental madness and ecstatic ravings, which Sri Rupa Goswami has described very nicely in his Stavamala as follows. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Anjalila, chapter 15, text 97.
বৃন্দাবন নবদ্বীপ নাই প্রেম বেশে কৃষ্ণ নাম উচ্চারণকারী প্রভু, স্তবমালায় প্রথম চৈতন্যাষ্টকে 6 নম্বর শ্লোক।
Translation to the verse: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the topmost of all devotees. Sometimes, while walking on the beach, he would see a beautiful garden nearby and mistake it for the forest of Vrindavana. Thus, he would be completely overwhelmed by ecstatic love of Krishna and begin to chant the holy name and dance. His tongue worked incessantly as he chanted, Krishna, Krishna, while he again become visible before the path of my eyes. Will he again become visible before the path of my eyes? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This quotation is verse 6 from the first Chaitanyastaka in Srila Rupa Goswami's Stavamala.
So these symptoms of speaking madly about Krishna
So these symptoms of speaking madly about Krishna
and the other ecstatic symptoms that Lord Chaitanya displayed
and the other ecstatic symptoms that Lord Caitanya displayed
are part of the love of Godhead and its highest levels.
are part of the love of Godhead in its high levels.
I mentioned previously that there are 8 levels up to the level of Bhava.
I mentioned previously there are 8 levels up to the level of Bhava.
Prema, pure love starts.
There's Prema, pure love starts.
That has 8 levels.
That has 8 levels.
Lord Chaitanya is displaying the highest level.
And Lord Chaitanya, as explained, is in the highest level. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya-lila, chapter 15, text 98.
অনন্ত চৈতন্য লীলা না যায় লিখন, দুন্মাত্র দেখাইয়া তাহা করাইয়া সূচন।
The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are unlimited. It is not possible to write of them properly. I can give only an indication of them as I try to introduce them.
As the author has written, he's only indicating
As the author has written, he is only indicating,
because actually these and also expressions
because actually these emotional expressions
are not possible to understand unless you're on that position.
are not possible to understand unless you're on that position.
But you can appreciate something.
But you can appreciate something.
It's a very wonderful experience.
So this is a very wonderful experience.
And be motivated to desire to have love of Godhead.
And be motivated to and desire to have love of Godhead.
How many of you would like to have love of Godhead?
How many of you would like to have love of Godhead?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thus ends the chapter entitled Lord Caitanya Wanders in the Garden, Mistaking it for Vṛndāvana, under the section The Transcendental Madness of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Vrindavana is the beautiful garden in the spiritual world
So Vrindavan is a beautiful garden in the spiritual world
where Lord Krishna has his intimate pastimes.
where Lord Krishna has his intimate pastimes.
Friends, the Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya Rasa.
With his friends Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya Rasa.
So that manifests on earth when he comes once in trillions of billions of years.
And that manifest, he comes once in billions of years
To this earth.
to this earth.
And then once a day of Brahma,
Once in the day of Brahma,
which is 4,000 chapter yugas or 4 yugas.
which is 1,000 Chatra Yugas or 4 Yugas.
Satya, Treta, Dharma, Kali.
Satya, Treta, Dwarpa, and Kali.
Kali is 432,000.
So Kali is 432,000 years.
Dharma Yuga is twice as long.
Dwarpa Yuga is twice as long.
Treta Yuga is 3 times as long.
Treta Yuga is 3 times as long.
Satya Yuga is 4 times as long.
And Satya Yuga is 4 times as long.
Total is like 4 million.
So the total is like 4,200,000.
100,000.
3,200,000.
And there's thousands of those. Wow, that's 4 billion.
So 1,000 of those, how much is those? 4 billion
And 320 million.
and 320 million.
Krishna comes once. That's 4,320,000 years.
Krishna comes once in that 4,320,000 years.
Spends about 150 years.
And Brahma lives about 100.
Krishna comes 150 years.
Oh, and Krishna comes 150 years.
It's the next universe.
And then he goes to the next universe
Constantly.
constantly.
So that's why his pastimes are considered as eternal pastimes.
So that's why his pastimes are considered as eternal pastimes.
While he exists in the spiritual world which has no end.
While he exists in the spiritual world, which has no end,
He also extends himself in the material world.
he also expands himself in the material world.
Other yugas, extensions of Krishna come, prophets,
In o- but other yugas, expansions of Krishna's comes as prophets,
come, Son of God, different pure devotees.
or representatives like Son of God, different pure devotees.
Any questions?
Hare Krishna. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my Hare Krishna, my respectful obeisances. Speak louder. So in the class you were saying the gopis experience the lamentation and jubilation at the same time. Is Lord Chaitanya, is there an example in this world which can give us an idea of what it is like?
Guru Maharaj says, I told
The universe was in Brahma,
what's in the whole universe, what's in Brahma Loka.
was happening. She was doing Kailash.
You know what she was doing in Kailash.
You know what's going on in the unlimited millions of universe.
You know what?
What the, you don't know.
But there is one thing you don't know.
I know.
I know.
Radharani knows.
Radharani knows.
You don't know.
You don't know. No one ever said that to him. He didn't know. Say anything. What is that?
I don't know.
Godhead doesn't.
Incredible. So he asked, what is that?
What is that?
And then when he said, you know, I'd like to worry.
Then Lord Krishna thought, I will come and it 3 times.
That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Mahaprabhu.
But he
And in what way they love him.
are such things that Lord Caitanya exuded. In India, I have a very high fever.
I mean, I had in India, like 1972 or 73, I had a very high fever,
I was feeling a lot of pain in my body.
feeling a
Listening to the lecture of Prabhupada Vṛndāvana on the nectar of devotion.
to the lecture of Prabhupada and Vrindavan on Nectar of Devotion.
And I was feeling happiness. Physically, pain.
Physically, I was feeling pain.
My consciousness was very happy.
My conscious say that's an Lord Krishna was feeling, Lord Caitanya was feeling lamentation and jubilation.
So, consciousness, very happy.
The living force, I was very happy. Srila Prabhupada's lectures.
Consciousness is not the same as my body.
I realized that my consciousness is not the same as my body.
Most people don't have any consciousness of Krishna.
But most people don't have any consciousness of Krishna. I don't know. I don't think. Is anyone knows? I mean, I don't think. Anyone knows?
I watch Chaitanya pastimes. The author is saying, actually, I can't write properly.
Actually, Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, the author is saying, actually, I can't write properly.
Because I'm not example. Nothing you can, what in the material world, how to feel lamentation and jubilation.
I mean, there's no example. I mean, what in the material world where someone is feeling happiness and jubilation and lamentation at the same time?
Be satisfied, even lamentation.
Actually, to be satisfied even in lamentation.
You're lamenting, they give you ice cream or something, or other than Krishna.
I mean, you're lamenting, okay, let me give you ice cream. What's the last part? Nothing like that, but in Lord Krishna. Any other question?
So, the thing is that Lord Caitanya is teaching us how we can love Krishna separation.
The thing is that Lord Caitanya is teaching us how we can love Krishna in separation.
And if we develop desire, I ask how we want to love Krishna.
If we develop the desire, I ask how we want to develop love of Krishna.
Everybody raise up. And what if you desire it very, very strongly,
But if we desire it very intensely, we want it strongly,
then we could achieve that.
we could achieve that.
But we have to do everything. And gradually will awaken that spontaneous love.
And gradually we'll awaken that spontaneous love.
And the beginning of the nectar of devotion, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu,
In the beginning of the nectar of devotion, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu,
it explains how we start devotional service by certain rules.
it explains how we start devotional service following certain rules.
We come, we practicing devotional service becomes like a spontaneous, habitual thing.
And then gradually practicing devotional service becomes a spontaneous kind of like ritual thing.
Then from there, one actually starts to develop a taste
And then from there, one actually starts to develop a taste
and becomes very attached, and it becomes ecstatic,
and becomes very attached, becomes very ecstatic.
and then they start to manifest ecstatic symptoms,
And they start to manifest ecstatic symptoms.
and then that becomes pure, and they start to achieve Krishna prema.
And that becomes pure and they start to achieve Krishna prema.
So these are the steps. It's a gradual process.
So these are the steps. It's a gradual process.
8 steps to the bhava
8 steps to the bhava,
and prema, and 8 types of prema.
then prema, and 8 steps of prema.
But we may not get all the way to the top of prema. But anywhere in prema, even bhava is very nice.
But we may not get all the way of the steps in prema, but anywhere, even bhava, it's very nice.
All right. I always want to end early, and I always end up late.
I always want to end early, but it seems that it's always ends up late.
And then I'll give men here, ladies here, come for blessings and so on.
Anyways, men here and ladies here, and please come for, I can give you a blessing.